Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. It's the Jim Rome Show on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus Media station.
Welcome
the
to
voice
your home
of
for
the Central New York sports fan. The
Outside
Score,
the Box
1260.
with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Trying out a new thing today. I don't know if all of you saw, but I started a new YouTube channel this week. Normally, this show streams on my Twitch account, which is twitch.tv/marker_box, my Twitter account, which is @marker_box, and the Score 1260 YouTube channel. But instead of being on the Score 1260 YouTube channel this week, we put it on my new YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@marker_box. So it's marker_box for everything. If you look me up, you will find me at that name, @marker_box. Like I said, on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. That's where this show is streaming this week. The reason I started a new YouTube channel is I had a conversation with some of the most maligned, but also most followed and beloved by a certain group of people, personalities on Syracuse basketball Twitter, the burner accounts. I had a great conversation with them. It's an hour and a half long over on my YouTube channel. It's doing well. Numbers are looking good, so let's keep those numbers moving in the right direction. You can check that out. It's called the First Burner Summit. I gathered 4 of the biggest burner accounts on Syracuse Twitter and talked to them about where they came from, why they started doing the burner account thing, and then we talked a lot about Syracuse basketball and the current state of the program. So I recommend checking that out if you want to hear some hard-hitting talks on Syracuse basketball. I wouldn't say hard-hitting journalism, but some tough pills to swallow in that conversation. So make sure to check that out. Like I said, that's on my new YouTube channel @marker_box. And we had the conversation right after, the day after, Syracuse played their most recent game against the NC State Wolfpack at NC State. Wasn't really a competition, 88-68 in that one. And Jim said in the chat, looking a little light there in the studio. It is a little light today. My usual co-host, Josh Boheim, is in his hometown of Rochester, unable to make it in today. Big Royal Rumble party that he has every year. Royal Rumble, of course, this weekend in Riyadh. So he is in Rochester for that one. Should be back next week, though. So just a solo show today. Going to talk about that SU-NC State game. Jim said, is this Josh guy aware of Zoom? I could theoretically just send him an invite to the StreamYard and have him come up on here. I'm not entirely sure how I would make that work, but I'm sure I could make it work where he would be on the stream and I could play his audio through the airwaves as well. But instead, we're just going to let Josh have the day off. It's not like he takes many of these, Jim. Josh, as he'll tell you, is here every single week without fail. So just give him the day off. Jim said he found the YouTube channel, which is good. It's youtube.com/@marker_box, the brand new YouTube channel. Make sure to go over there. Watch the video, like it, comment on it, subscribe to the new channel. I'm going to be putting some more stuff up on there. It's going to be a lot of different stuff. Jim just put the link in the chat if you are watching a live stream. Jim said it's not easy to find. I gave you the link. I literally said the link. All you had to do is type it in. Or just search the First Burner Summit, the First Syracuse Burner Summit. It should come up. And I've been posting it all over my social media this week. So make sure to check that out. But yeah, I will be talking about Syracuse's most recent game against NC State. Everyone had a feeling that Quadir Copeland was going to go off in that game for the Wolfpack, and he certainly did. And then also talking about Syracuse's next game tonight, 6 o'clock on everyone's favorite network to watch the ACC, the CW. Syracuse is a 4.5-point favorite. Jim says Notre Dame +5 seems like not enough. Notre Dame is terrible. We're not good either. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Syracuse isn't enough of a favorite against anybody, because right now, I don't know how we would compete against most AAU teams. It's an absolute joke right now watching this Syracuse team. The NC State game was really rough. I'm not confident they cover a 4.5-point spread against, a really bad Notre Dame team at the JMA Wireless Dome. I'm not sure if they can do it. So I hope they can. And we'll talk about that game more as we get later in the show. But first, we're going to take a quick timeout, just get this first segment out of the way. We'll come back. Much more to come here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
DeFrancisco and Falgiatano present the 19th annual Syracuse.
Here we go.
Save up to $1,350 on nameplate Tempur-Pedic. Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy.
Mark_box and YouTube search box didn't work? It should. That's what my username is. Outside the Box Score, what's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Tyler, I'll throw you on hold. We'll bring you on after the break, all right? We've got a new caller. Oh, no, it didn't work. Well, that's a shame. This may or may not be the notorious Tyler in Binghamton calling. Oh, boy. Everyone's new favorite Syracuse Sports Talk radio caller. Have the dump button ready. I'm always ready to hit the dump button, Jim. I've always got the quick hands to reach the dump button. We are always on a delay. What is it? 20 seconds. Yeah, we've got a big one. We've got a 20-second delay here. Most of them, like Jim, like you said, 7 to 10 seconds, but we've got a big one here. So, for whatever reason. – 20 seconds, at least time to wake up from a nap. There have been times, not necessarily during this show, but when I've been in the studio, like working Syracuse Mets games, there have been times that I needed to I almost fell asleep. Jim said, "No chance Pat finds this." Pat's aware of the channel, so I'm sure he'll think about it. I know Pat watched the video. We were talking about it the other day, so. Apparently, a lot of people are watching the video. It's at over 500 views. It's at like 530 views. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. We're going to jump over to the phone lines. It's everyone's new favorite local sports talk radio caller. We've got Tyler from Binghamton calling in. Tyler, hello, my friend.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'll get it out of the way early. I think Brent Axe would be a wonderful replacement. So what's, obviously it's been a big week for you. Gotten a lot of traction here in the local media for an interesting phone call you did make into Coach Red Autry's radio show. I gotta ask, what was the thought process behind the phone call?
Honestly, I just I saw that they were live, and obviously I saw the number was posted, and I was like, you know what? Let me give them a call. I feel like nobody ever really does that. I've never really tuned into Adrian Autry's show, and they have it. So, but yeah, I figured out why not. Let's give it a call. And obviously, everybody knows who's behind the call at this point. What Twitter account?
Yep.
What my handle is and everything. So I had one of my buddies screen record the live stream, and so they could kind of capture the moment. It was kind of like a whole behind the scenes thing going on.
Yep.
So just winged it. They asked, what's your name? Where are you from? I just kind of winged it on the fly, Tyler Betsy's burner. So I figured I'll tell them I'm Tyler from Binghamton. And they asked me why I was calling, and I said I wanted to ask what coach has the players doing in practice to kind of prepare for second halves, since they've been having trouble in second halves. I just kind of thought of that on the fly.
That also would have been a good question.
Yeah, really, that's not a bad question.
That's
honestly.
a pretty good question, because what the hell is he having them do?
That one. But got through, and then everything went on from there.
In the live stream chat here, Jim, a regular listener, said, to be fair, who would be better informed of the job requirements than Adrian Autry? And I agree. I think you asked the right guy.
It's not a bad question. I get everybody's upset at me. I understand. Don't kick a guy while he's down, whatever. Red has so many more things to be worried about right now than some guy on the internet calling in, trolling for 10 seconds. They move on, and then I know everybody's upset. Honestly, I don't understand. I mean, I understand why, but come on. The fan base wouldn't last a day in the SEC with how their fans are.
Oh, I know.
They wouldn't last.
I was surprised it blew up as much as it did, because in my opinion, it's just a bit of a funny clip.
Yeah, that's all it was supposed to be at first too, and that's all it was until Mr. Pauly decided to give it some traction, and then delete it, get called out, and then put it back up. So
yeah, wild interactions that the two of you had over the past couple of days. So I do want to ask your thoughts on the Syracuse game today. 4.5 points over Notre Dame. Notre Dame stinks. Jim in my chat thinks it's not nearly enough points. I'm not confident that this team could cover against Corcoran High School. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. What do you think about the game?
I mean, obviously Notre Dame isn't exactly a quality team right now. Especially with the implications today that we're honoring Moat and everything, you would like to see them come and play with some heart and hopefully pull it out. I got some faith for today, just with the implications.
Fair enough. I did fail to mention that today is Lawrence Moten Day at the Dome. They're honoring the Syracuse great that they've been playing with his number on the chest all year. Lawrence Moten passed away a couple of months ago, sadly.
Yep.
Taken from
R.I.P. Moat.
R.I.P. Moat, taken from us much too young. Well, Tyler, is there anything else you want to talk about while we've got you here?
I think we covered a majority of it. Let me give some shout outs. I'd like to shout out the group chat for sure. all the guys in the group chat. That
Shout out the group chat.
You've been introduced to as well.
Yep.
Definitely shout out Barry. Shout out Coach, who's now Josh Shirt's account.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, but I could go on and on and on. But shout out the fellas, man.
Shout out the fellas. Well, Tyler from Binghamton, thank you for calling in. Pleasure talking to you and giving you an actual chance to call into a radio show. So
yeah, man, I appreciate the time.
Have a good rest of your day, buddy.
You too, man. Thanks.
There he is, Tyler from Binghamton, everyone's current favorite sports talk radio caller. Now, I don't normally address these things that happen like this on other shows, on other networks. Like I said, when I was just talking to Tyler there, I think it was just a bit of a funny clip. And we've heard that Adrian Autry has a sense of humor. The players are aware of these accounts. The coaches are aware of these accounts. They see jokes. They see memes that are made about them. And I've heard that Coach Red has quite a bit of a sense of humor. And I do want to say, shout out Matt Park and Coach for handling it perfectly. It's exactly what you're supposed to do in a situation like that. They did a great job in terms of handling the question, handling the call, all that stuff. I think they did a great job. But the fact that this has become such a thing, Jim says, is there a more soft-skinned fan base than Syracuse diehards? LOL, heaven forbid anyone criticize. And I'm not one to criticize the fan base. I think we have a great fan base. I think we have a large, we obviously have an incredibly large fan base. And as a member of that fan base, I'm not one to criticize. What I will say is there have been a lot of people that seem to be showing that they can be a touch soft at times. And I don't even necessarily agree with a lot of the things that some of these accounts do or some of these accounts say, but sometimes you just got to take it at face value for what it is. Jokes. Guys make jokes online. Breaking news. Social media is a cesspool. There could be a lot more negative things said and done by this group of guys. But instead, guys like Tyler, guys like Barry, guys like Coach, all of them are just Syracuse diehards that care a lot about the program and use humor as a way to show how much they care. Now, would I have made the call into Red Autry's radio show? No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have done that personally. Do I think it's very funny? Yes. I thought the clip was very funny. And like I said, Matt Park and Coach Red handled it perfectly. Like I said, I don't typically talk about things that happen on other radio networks around here, but just thought it would be a fun little bit to do with Tyler from Binghamton here on the show. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk more SU hoops on Outside the Box Score.
Craving a slice of perfection? Come to the all-new Napoli Pizzeria.
Where's Josh to talk Joker tennis? I know. Geez, Barry's going nuts on Twitter right now. Shout out all the guys though. Really, they're like, they've all been super supportive of me and supportive of this idea that I had to sort of make their voices heard. I wasn't joking last week when I said I wanted to talk to these guys. Blump is in the chat. Mr. Tyler from Binghamton himself. When I said last week on the show, I was like, this is a plea to the burner accounts. I want to have a conversation. I was not joking. I find these guys to be very entertaining. And a lot of, like I said, Barry's going nuts on Twitter right now. Yep, shout out Blump in the chat. At Heavy on Cuse on Twitter. This clip will be going out, by the way. Am I just adding fuel to a fire that probably doesn't need it? Maybe. But it's just fun, man. Just having fun. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Going to be looking at this game that Syracuse just played against the NC State Wolfpack the other night. 88-68 Wolfpack in their building. Syracuse never really felt like they were in this one. One of those that they were only down 4 at half, but you know that in the second half they get much worse. And so you knew it wasn't really going to be a game. Syracuse shoots 56% from the free throw line, something they have been getting better at in recent games, but reared its ugly head again the other night. Donnie Freeman continuing to look like a potential lottery pick, 9 of 18 from the field for 24 points, shot 50% from 3, 4 of 4 from the charity stripe, 10 boards, 2 steals. That guy's really good. I know it's not much of a hot take, but the guy's really good. He's been one of the better players Syracuse has had in a very long time. And I think there's other guys with a lot of talent on this team too that we've talked about ad nauseum, like Sadiq White, who only got 10 minutes. He fouled out in 10 minutes. But hey, at least he had a reason to only play 10 minutes instead of usually just getting benched. William Kyle took 2 shots, made them both, grabbed 8 boards, had 3 blocks, did the William Kyle thing, just showed off his freak athleticism. And a decent game from J.J. Starling. 7 of 19 from the field, not great, but he did have 17 points. No assists to go along with it, though. Syracuse only had 10 assists as a team, where NC State had 21 assists. 9 of them, of course, coming from an old friend. Was there any doubt that Quadir Copeland was going to absolutely torch us in this game? He has been so good for NC State this year. I've heard talk about him being a potential draft pick. He's averaging 14, 3 boards, and 6 assists. He's shooting 54% from the field. He's shooting 47% from three-point range this year. A guy that, when he was at Syracuse, struggled fairly mightily at times to shoot the 3-ball consistently, and has turned into an absolute sharpshooter with the Wolfpack. And I wish him nothing but the best. I loved watching Q here at Syracuse. He was absolutely electric. He takes a chance, goes to a smaller program, transfers out of here to a non-Power 5 school and says, hey, let me show you what I can do. Ends up transferring to NC State, and he's become easily one of the premier players on that team, one of the premier players in the conference. It's been a really good showing from Quadir this year, and there was no doubt in my mind that he was dropping. I thought he was going to drop 30. I'm going to be honest. Him only taking 9 shots surprises me. I thought he was going to take 25 shots and just bury Syracuse. So kind of glad he didn't do that, but God, the guy has been absolutely money for them this year. He had 4 steals, too. Something that we saw him do here at Syracuse as well. He's always been a bit of a pickpocket. And he had 4 steals. Nate Kings had 3 for Syracuse. So there were turnovers to be had, but both teams with 11. But just all in all, not a great showing for Syracuse defensively. NC State ends up shooting 51% from the field. Syracuse only shooting 39%. 39, 30, 56 percentages will not get it done. Yeah, and NC State via McNeese State came with Coach Will Wade. Yeah. And Wade loves him, and I don't blame him because Quadir is a really good player, and I knew he was going to torch us in that one. It's just a classic. We've gotten used to these games in recent years, and it's a shame where you just knew going in that it wasn't going to be our night. You never know how the team's going to come out. You hope they come out with high intensity, high energy, but it ends up being just this sort of flat game that really ends up being nothing. There was nothing exciting about that one on the Syracuse end. Like I said, Donnie had a good game, but what was the point? What was the point of Donnie having a game like that if it's going to lead to a 20-point loss? He's going to be a first-round draft pick this year, might even go in the lottery, and the team probably won't finish 500. Apathy kills a fan base, and I'm starting to feel real apathetic towards this team with the current leadership. And that goes all the way to the top. I was having a conversation with someone last night. He told me, hey, not all this blame goes on Wildhack. And this is someone that I think has some pretty good connections to SU and to the Wildhack family. So I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt by any means. He said that, not all of this blame needs to go on Wildhack. That, maybe Red wasn't even the guy that he wanted to hire, potentially, allegedly. That there were other names that were considered. And if he says that, fine. But it still goes all the way to the top. This is still a conversation that John Wildhack needs to be involved in. It's not just Red. It goes all the way up. The university as a whole needs new athletic leadership. Jim says can't lose today. Can only imagine how long the losing streak could get. If they lose today, they might not win again. Plain and simple. If they lose today, this would be up there in the worst seasons in Syracuse basketball history, at least in modern history. Since the Boeheim era, this is the bottom of the barrel. Jim said, does anyone really believe there were other names? Autry was hired 10 minutes after the Boeheim loss in the ACC tourney. I'm not sure. I think there were names that would have came here. We talked about it in the video the other day. I think Nate Oates would have come here if given the opportunity before he went to Alabama. I know that the timeline isn't exact, but I think there have been guys that we missed out on because Boeheim stayed until he did. I think that there are names that were missed out. There are names that were missed out on because of the seeming the overarching idea that it was just going to be Autry or McNamara. I think that lost them out on some names. So I don't know exactly where people got in the process. I'm not sure. All I'm saying is I heard that there were potentially other names that were considered before Autry became the guy. I never said interviewed or got anywhere in an actual coaching process, but some were potentially considered prior to the Adrian Autry hiring from the office of John Wildhack. That's all I'm going to say. But change needs to start at the top, is my point. Because if Syracuse loses tonight, like I said, this is the bottom of the barrel for modern Syracuse basketball. A point where I didn't think we would be at this point in the year. But it is what it is, and all we can do is hope for better in the future. Got to take a timeout. We'll talk more about this upcoming Notre Dame game when we come back on Outside the Box Score.
Verdict Mazda is heating up January with big deals.
Come test drive, then lease your new Mazda for under $200 a month. Right now, lease a new 25 Mazda CX-30S with iActive all-wheel drive for just $189 a month. Just $189 a month. 36 months with $39.95 down. Or choose 4.9 for 63 financing.
Jim, I saw the video you tagged me in on Twitter. First of all, that rules by Josh Schertz. That rocks. And second of all, I really want that guy to coach this team. I really do. And I'm not saying that Autry wasn't the coach in waiting. I'm just saying from perspective of Wild Hack's office, he was not. I heard he was not the number one choice for John Wild Hack. That there were other powers at be that made Adrian Autry the number one choice. It just wasn't his decision. There were other people that. Schertz price tag going up with each win, and other schools will be interested. I don't care what the price tag is. Pay a coach. I know they don't want to, but guess what? Syracuse has plenty of money to spend on a damn basketball coach. That guy's a really good coach, and I think he's the exact type of guy that this program needs. Someone that has zero association with Jim Boeheim or Syracuse University as a whole, has just proven that he's a damn good coach. St. Louis beat Dayton by 31 last night. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Just something that we were just discussing during the break, which you can listen during the breaks. Over on my Twitter account at marker_box, over on new YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/marker_box or /@marker_box. I need to find a better way to get you guys to find the YouTube channel because Jim said he looked for it and it was hard to find. So I'm going to figure out a way for the YouTube channel to be easier to find for all of you. Or you can go to twitch.tv/marker_box. We got a ton of people in here in the Twitter chat right now. There's 50 of you watching on Twitter. Let's just keep those numbers going up because I love interacting with you guys during the breaks and all that stuff. You can just hop in the chat, talk to me whenever. You don't even have to call in. You can call in if you would like, 315-671-1260. If you want to call in during the next commercial break, I can screen your call. And then we can have a conversation on air. That's 315-671-1260. But if you want to talk to me during the breaks, talk to me during the show, hop in that live stream chat where you can just type it and we just have a conversation in here. Like I talked to Jim throughout the entirety of the show. He said viewers up with no Josh. Is there a coincidence? No. Josh brings the show down and we all know it. I'm joking. I love you, Josh. You add so much to this show. But something we were just talking about during the break is Josh Schertz, who is the current coach at St. Louis, who beat Dayton 102-71 last night. Now, he hasn't been at St. Louis long. He was at Indiana State before that. And let me tell you, this guy is a damn good coach. And I need Syracuse to hire him. That's it. I just want this guy to coach Syracuse basketball. And Jim said, because I was talking about Josh Schertz, Jim said, well, with every win, the price tag goes up. Here's my take on whatever Josh Schertz's price tag may be. I don't give a damn. You pay it. You are Syracuse University. You are a private university. You have over 20,000 students. You charge way too much for tuition, room and board, the whole nine. You have a wonderful endowment from your student body. You have good donors. You have good NIL. You know what you can do with all of that money that gets flooded into that university day in and day out, and all the money they make from the athletics programs like football and basketball. Lacrosse does well for us. We're a nationally recognized lacrosse team that is regularly playing on national television when ESPN airs lacrosse, or on ACC network, any of it. You know what you do with that money? Instead of just holding on to it and saying, look how much money I have, you spend it. You make your athletics programs better, and you get a new coach, and you pay him whatever you need to pay a good new coach. Give him $5 million a year. I don't care. And yes, it's not my money. I didn't go to Syracuse University. I'm not employed there. I'm not in charge of anything there. So I understand that it's not my money, so it shouldn't be my problem. But as someone who did donate to Syracuse NIL for an extended period of time and then stopped because of how furious this team has made me, as someone who has been a lifelong supporter of this university's athletics since I was 3 years old when they won the national championship, and has watched this team through good, through bad, through Final Fours and below 500 seasons, do something. If they hire anyone that has come within close contact with Jim Boeheim or Adrian Autry or anyone associated with the program in the last 15 years, I don't want them. Bring me a guy that has nothing to do with Syracuse University, has never set foot on Syracuse University's campus before, doesn't even know what conference Syracuse University plays in. If he has nothing to do with SU and is just a good basketball coach, a la Josh Schertz at St. Louis, who, like I said, beat Dayton, a really good A-10 program, by 31, 102 to 71 last night. They're 21-1, undefeated in conference, 21st in the country. Their only loss is to Stanford, who they lost by 1. Just find a way to get Josh Schertz here. $5 million, $10 million, $15 million a year. For all I care. I don't, because it's not my money. But for the love of God, get a guy like him at least. And then maybe I'll be happy again as a Syracuse fan. Because right now, it's real bad. Anyway, that's my coaching rant. Syracuse has a basketball game tonight. They play Notre Dame at 6 o'clock. Here in the JMA Wireless Dome, live on everyone's favorite broadcast network to watch the ACC, the CW. Jim said SU women are having a nice season. Yes, they are. Support the SU women's basketball team. They're really good. Support them. I've watched a couple of games. They're fun to watch. Everyone go out and watch them. Felicia Jack does a great job with the women's program here. So, yes, support SU women's basketball right now, please, because I don't know why we would keep supporting the men's team right now. It's a dumpster fire. Jim just tagged me in a tweet from Josh Schertz. There's a video of him serving cocktails at a bar last night after the game on campus, pouring shots for students, all that stuff. And Josh Schertz said, in my mind, I was like Tom Cruise in Cocktail, parentheses, if you are under 50, look the movie up. I know what Cocktail is, Josh Schertz. But this pic seems to show otherwise. It's a picture of him looking like he has no clue what's going on behind a bar. Students and community were electric last night, and a special shout out to the swim team. You guys gave me the idea for Tate's next viral video. I don't know what the context of that is, but Jim tagged me in the tweet and said, imagine having a coach like this and he wins. Perfect. I want him to go down to Fagan's after a big game, a big night game against UNC here in Syracuse. I want him to go to Fagan's and start pouring Guinness. Or go to the Orange Crate and have a tailgate party before a football game. Someone that really seems to care about the community and the students and wants students to show up to games and have some fun. Students do not go to SU basketball games anymore. The student section is always a rough look in the Dome right now. Jim said it could have been Myers Creek if they still sponsored. There's no ill will towards Myers Creek. I was just saying a bar that's on campus. Of which there are two that anyone actually goes to. Orange Crate and Fagan's. But a guy like that, that's all I want. Anyway, SU plays tonight against Notre Dame here at the Dome. It's on the CW. Notre Dame is not good. They beat Boston College, which is something that Syracuse cannot say. They beat Boston College 68-64. But and they put up 97 points against Virginia in their last game. Still lost. They lost 197. But North Carolina beat them 91-69, Va Tech 89-76, Miami 81-69, Clemson 76-61, and Cal 72-71. They did beat Stanford. It was 47-40. Apparently, they only played half of a basketball game against Stanford because the final score was 47-40. This team lost to Purdue Fort Wayne. Are the Mastodons any good this year? They're 13-9. They're third in the Horizon League, and they beat Notre Dame. So everything says that SU should beat this team. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it at all. I just got a text from Tom from the Valley. He says that if SU loses tonight, Father Pete, the Notre Dame basketball chaplain, will go into the SU locker room and give Autry last rites. The program will officially be in hospice. Thank you, Tom from the Valley. And yes, because he said, if you can squeeze me in, I'll call in. I can squeeze you in. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. See if we can get Tom from the Valley calling in here on Outside the Box Score.
Best is an
I've been heated this week. Yeah, I've been on one all week. I don't know why. Couldn't even talk live golf today. Yeah. Outside the Box Score, what's your name we're calling from? All right, Tom, I'll throw you on hold. Tom from the Valley is calling in. Yeah, quickly on the golf front. I'm fine with Brooks Koepka coming back. I don't know if that guy actually cares much about golf, but it's fine. And Patrick Reed should have stayed over there. Reed is only returning since Liv wouldn't pay him what he wants. Yeah, and they shouldn't because that guy, I screw him. That's my golf takes. Whatever. If the guys are coming back, the guys are coming back. Doesn't really bother me. Of course, I'm going to have to make a phone call here in a second. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. And to jump over to the phone lines again, we've got Tom from the Valley calling in, longtime caller. Tom, how we doing today, pal?
Good morning, guys. Welcome to another cold Saturday in Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm getting real sick and tired of this weather, Tom. It's bad. I hate it. It is like, has it been this cold in recent years? It feels like it hasn't gotten like negative degrees in recent years, but this is just awful, and I hate every second of it, and no wonder no one's going to the Dome.
I think there's no hope right now, and that gets people through this winter, but we'll see what happens today, Mark.
Yep. So you are, of course, even though you are an SU diehard, you also come from a Notre Dame family. This is a big game in your family tonight. The Fighting Irish and the Orange. I did read your text message aloud on air, but you're more than welcome to reiterate it if you would like.
Well, I think going into this game, this is a game Syracuse can win. I know you've talked about that earlier, but I mean, the numbers coming out of Notre Dame this year are okay. You know, you've got Marcus Burton, who's only averaging, 18 points a game. Braden Shrewsbury, Michael Shrewsbury's son,
yep,
only 11 points a game. And, they're similar to Syracuse in the sense rebounding is a real issue. So I think it's going to be a close one tonight in the Dome. But I do think this is a bellwether for both programs. Autry, there's a lot of talk about Autry. There's a lot of talk about Shrewsbury's job security. They played Virginia hard on Tuesday night, but they still crumbled. They had a 12-point lead in the second half, and they crumbled to go to overtime. So I think tonight, it's going to be a better game than we've seen in the past few weeks. But I do think this is going to be a make or break for both programs.
I mean, in no disrespect to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, they're not good. And I know Syracuse isn't very good right now either, but talent-wise, I think we blow this team out of the water. It all comes down to coaching. And Jim said earlier that he thinks 4.5 points is not enough. I don't know if Syracuse should be favored against anybody, let alone by 4.5. So I kind of agree with you with that. I think it's going to be way too tight.
Yeah, and let's go back to last year. Syracuse had a 20-point lead going into half. Notre Dame had a 20-point lead going into half last year.
Yep.
And Syracuse came back and won the game. Granted, Shrewsbury absolutely lost his mind with about 20 seconds left.
Yep.
But I just think these are two programs who are very similar this year in the sense that not many people are tuning in anymore.
No, and obviously Notre Dame, much more of a football school than a basketball school. But the problem is, Tom, that, say Notre Dame has a 10-point lead at half tonight. There is zero chance that Syracuse comes back from a 10-point deficit at halftime. I fully believe this team is incapable of any kind of comeback like the one we saw against Notre Dame last year. I don't care who it is. It really blows my mind that the second halves we've seen from this team, something that was always a strength with this program under Jim Boeheim. They always were a good second half team. The second halves have been atrocious.
Yeah, and it goes for both teams. Notre Dame has similar stats in the second half of Syracuse, but you shouldn't, after 20 minutes of play, you shouldn't go into the locker room and then try to mail in the second half of the game.
Yep.
And we've been seeing that. I know people have talked about it at length. I think 4.5 points to this game, it's going to be tight. I think whoever wins this game will win it by probably 5, 6, maybe 7 points. There's, 7 people to the line late in the game.
Yep.
But I just think we're in for a game where somebody will win and get a sigh of relief. And I don't think anybody knows tonight who's going to be able to do that. If it's not Syracuse breathing a sigh of relief tonight, the program has been in comfort care. It will be going into hospice. I mean, it only gets harder from here. And you can only fight so hard.
Yeah. You, what are your thoughts on Josh Schertz? Is he do you have a guy that you would like to see as the next coach of Syracuse?
I'm not ready for that yet. I think we've got to get through, it's clear they're not going to make a change here soon. I think with the portal opening after the tournament this year, I think if they make a change, when they make a change, it'll be slower than what people are thinking. I think it's hard to go out right now and gauge interest, especially when the university isn't really saying much about anything.
Well, this university has never said much about anything ever in any aspect.
That is true. I look back to football, where they completely collapsed this year, and you never heard from John Wildhack. You never really heard from Fran Brown after the season. I mean, season ticket holder for a number of years now, never even got an email thanking us for our support this season. We only got an email saying it's time to renew your season tickets.
Oh, wow. That's classic SU though. That's classic Syracuse. They love doing stuff like that. I know for a fact from other season ticket holders I've talked to, they treat their season ticket holders like garbage.
Well, I look back to Notre Dame football. They give their season ticket holders free parking. Granted, it's not great parking,
but it's free parking.
It's something. I mean, season ticket holders around here, they give to this program, they give to the university. Granted, it's not a lot of money, but that's not really the point. There are perks to giving more money, no dispute about that. But for most owner levels, you get a pocket calendar as your thank you.
Yeah.
You don't really get much out of the product on or off the field.
Yeah. It's a shame, Tom. It really is.
It's all right, Mark. The sun will still rise tomorrow, and it'll still be cold. So this too shall pass.
You know what? That's a good way to look at it, Tom. Buddy, thanks for calling in. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the game tonight. And talk to you soon. Okay, pal?
You too, Mark. Have a good one.
There he is, Tom from the Valley, longtime caller, calling in here to Outside the Box Score. We're going to take one more quick timeout, and then we'll come back and wrap things up here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location?
In the woods, just outside of town.
Oh, not surprising. You've got your home. Bears have theirs.
Yeah, but see, this wasn't just any bear. This bear was wearing jeans and a hat, as in a Smokey Bear.
Jeans and a hat. That's definitely
that burner clip. You might have started something.
Well,
hey, I'm trying.
At home, after having a bonfire.
I'm trying, Jim.
I can guess where this is going.
Right. See, Smokey told me the fire wasn't actually out. He said if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
That's true. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires wildfires are caused by humans, that means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Wow, no kidding?
I'm a forest ranger. We never kid.
Sorry.
I just looked. I put out a YouTube short.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference.
I put out a
9 out of
YouTube
10
short
wildfires are caused by humans.
from the
Brought to you by Smokey
show
Bear,
the other
the U.S.
day.
Forest Service,
And
your
that's
state
already
forester,
at
and the ad council.
274 views.
SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent
Burner videos at
wildfires.
553. Those are numbers I like to see.
Brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building.
Also, shout out
Now a
my
stylish glass
my
coffee
side
table.
job that I took for the winter. Scheduling me to go in at 11:30 today.
These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money
Careful,
on
show might have
wasted
to be 2
electricity,
hours at this rate,
throw
and
away
you don't
everything
want
you
to get
could
up
have
for your
bought with
10
it.
a.m. start.
Visit energysavers.gov and
Listen,
get tips on how to
I don't
save
think the
energy
show is
and money.
becoming 2 hours.
Then
It would
do
be
things
cool,
like switch to
but
Energy Star light bulbs or Energy
I
Star
think
appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars.
I think
a
where
year.
we are right now
So
is
this doesn't happen to the
pretty
big
good. But I
farm
am
you
going
got
to start
your eye
doing
on.
more content on the YouTube channel.
Or this to the treadmill on your
I've
wish
been
list.
talking to the burner guys. We're going to start doing more stuff.
Or this
I'm
to
going to
the
start putting a
show
lot
you
more
think your
content up
kid's been
there.
asking for.
So while you might not get 2 hours every
Saving
Saturday,
energy saves you money.
don't worry about
Learn
it.
more at energysavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Sorry, I had to send a quick work text there. Wrapping up another fun-filled hour here on the score. It's been a great show. I want to shout out once again all the burner guys at Heavy on Cuse, at Barry Cuse, at Syracuse Fan 44, and at Coach Fran Byrne. All of them that I did that show with the other day. Great guys. They did a really good job promoting this show today. We've had the most views that this show's ever had today. So I want to shout all of them out. Shout out Heavy on Cuse for calling in earlier as his new alter ego, Tyler from Binghamton, who, of course, took the local media by storm this week with a phone call he made into Red Autry's show. It's been a pleasure getting to know these guys, and I'm excited to do more things with them in the future. Make sure to check out my new YouTube channel, which is linked all over my Twitter account right now. Like I said, I gotta find a way to make that more accessible for people to just search it on YouTube. It's kind of hard to find right now. Make sure to check out the video I did with the burner guys. It's an hour-and-a-half conversation all about Syracuse basketball on that YouTube channel. We're at 550 views. I'm trying to see if we can get that son of a gun up to 1,000 by the end of the weekend. So just wanted to throw all that out there. Shout out all those guys for their support and everything that they're doing for me and the things, they appreciate what I've wanted to do with them. So just wanted to say that here at the end of the show. Quickly, Australian Open final, Sinner versus Djokovic. That's going to be a lot of fun. Or I'm sorry, Alcaraz versus Djokovic. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jannik Sinner doesn't make the Australian Open final. I'm going to say it. Give me the Joker. I never thought I would be rooting for Novak Djokovic in a tennis match. We've got to do this because Josh isn't here and he would want to talk about it. So just quickly, I never thought I would pick Novak Djokovic as like my guy in tennis because I never liked him growing up. I was always a Federer guy. I was pulling for him hard in that semifinal match. And now I kind of want him to win. Just show the young bucks that the old guys still got it. So let's see what you got, Joker. That's going to do it for the show this week. Thank you, everybody, so much for being a part of it. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.